time, weather.
Now for the Forge Podcast. Question for you. What's the power of your testimony if it's never shared? This is the Forge Podcast.
The Ministry of Scottsdale Bible Church.
Hang on, focus. Whatever. You look good, bro.
Looking good.
So all of a sudden it's going to be like all these podcasts that are dark and like moody, and then bzzz, Ben. Bzzz. Whoa!
I'll take it.
Ben, welcome to the Forge Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
How are you, man?
Living the dream. You know, it's good to be back. First day in Forge. They don't know that. The listeners don't know that, but first day back after winter.
It's always good to come back, huh?
Yeah. This is my first time being back. So it's like
What have you missed? It's been, 5 weeks? What have you missed about it? What have you missed from Forge?
camaraderie. Tuesday's a good day, kind of in the middle of the week, to just reset. Sort of in the middle of the week, not really, but yeah, just a good reset to get back in the right headspace. You know, Monday comes, everyone hates Monday, and then boom, Tuesday comes, and you're back at Forge, and you're like, all right, I can get to Wednesday at least. That's half the week.
Right.
Thursday, Friday, good to go.
But talk to me more. There's a more than just on a weekly basis. That's a 5-6 week period where,
Right.
man, I know you were just eating up Forge for a fall semester, and it was just you met it and it met you, and you said, this is what I need, this is what I want, and I'm giving 100%, right?
Yeah.
And you came in and week one, you said, this is it. And then you go and you have that little drought where now we're kind of not left on our own, but we still have to make some disciplined choices,
Right.
without, the 13 guys around that table checking in and saying this, hey guys, I messed up this week, or hey guys, I need prayer for this. What was that period like? What'd you miss? What'd you find out about yourself?
It was kind of like a test, you know. Yeah. You come to Forge and it's sort of like, this is just another one of my crazy analogies, but Forge is like the homework and the actual class, and then you go on that break, and I know summer is going to come up too. You're going to have another break, and it's like, all right, like, what have you learned? What can you take away? Are you really, as strong as you think you might be? Because like you said, in Forge, you have people checking in on you. It's like in the middle of the week, so it really helps just dial you in all the time. But when you don't have that every week, it's the ultimate test to really just see where you are in your faith and the strength that you have within it. And then coming back, it's a good, like, all right, now I know where I need improvement, how I can improve, how can I move forward, what do I need to learn for the next break coming up soon again already.
I love that. That is so profound. I've never thought about the breaks in between Forge semesters that way. That it's a test. It's a life test. In almost like school. I mean, Forge is we're there to learn. We're there to learn and digest the Bible, and then to sharpen each other with around other men. And then it's like, okay, now what am I going to do without that? How am I prepared? Where am I weak? Where am I struggling? What have I found that I really did need? What was it about that week at Forge, or those Tuesday nights that, man, really gave me the strength for Wednesday through Monday? That's phenomenal, dude. I've only thought of it as like, oh, this is a nice break to like just kind of. I've thought about it from a leader standpoint where it's like, okay, you get to relax a little bit, kind of be with family, and you have that Tuesday back. But I'm like, what a phenomenal relensing of what that is. It's a test.
Right.
It's life without your brothers. And how are you going to do? Are you going to seek them out? Are we going to go and find them? Or are we only relying on the church to put this group together? Or did we find brothers that were like, I need that, and I'm going to go out and seek that on my own?
Right. Yeah.
Great way to put it. Well done.
If you think about it as a break, then are you just taking a break from your faith as well? It's probably not the best thing to do, right? It's right. This is really where.
Well, I would hope you don't. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, therefore, it's more of it's a continuation, obviously, but it's the ultimate test of, can you really stand your ground on your own?
Yeah.
And it's just even if you find yourself slipping or failing or, falling into temptation, it's it's not a bad thing. It's just like, okay, this is where I'm at. This is where I need improvement. And let's, now I know what I'm going to focus on the next season of Forge.
Right. What was so who were you reaching out to? I know Xander, you guys are
right
best buddies.
Right. I mean, you and Don.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really favor, I'm not going to call you old, but
bro, look,
the wiser.
I'm matching your background. Your white background is matching the sides of my hair and my beard. So
I favor the
and my
wiser, the wiser relationship.
Sure. People that have years under their belt,
right?
Of course.
That's one of the main appeals to Forge is there's not a terribly large amount of younger guys like my age. It is a older crowd, which is the appeal for me. I always felt, my mom's always told me, you're an old soul, and I feel like this pull to learn from you guys, whether it be just life lessons, now spiritual lessons, just all sorts of knowledge. Listening to you guys' stories, I love storytelling. It's just an amazing thing to do, and when you combine storytelling into like meaningful storytelling, it's like that is the ultimate growth factor, right? Because you can tell a story and it's just a story, but like if you combine like a faith-based meaning to it, a deep meaning, like an ethos to the story, it becomes this whole different thing. And not only are you entertained, but you're also learning with the story. And that's what I love about Forge, is there's always something, you never know what you're going to get into each Tuesday.
Well, for you, if it's not this semester, there's a lot of young guys. They just sit at other tables, and there's tables of just young guys. So after this semester, even at this semester, if you're like me, you know what, let me go try out this other, dude, jump on it. If you're like, okay, I'm all full of this old guy knowledge, like let me go and hang out with brothers that I can go through my stage of life with. Right? That we have that. There are tables of guys that are 20 to 30. And, at a different season, that might be exactly what you need.
Right, definitely.
I've heard of stories of different guys, even guys at our table, that have sat with really old guys, 60 to 80, for a year. And they're like, okay, that was awesome. I learned a ton in that season. And then it's like, I want to go around guys that are my age, 35, 40.
Right.
So it's definitely there for you.
Right. Do you think you learn from people younger than you as I learn people older?
Oh, 100%. I love it. I love the different perspective, and the youth and the optimism and the just go do it, man. Like, yeah, there's I do. I learn from the young guys my age, and then like a Bill Heitzman who's 76. Sorry, Bill, I think you're around 76. Why not pull from all wisdom? I think it was Bill, but I think Bill borrowed it from somebody else. It's like, be discipling somebody, or be discipling somebody, whatever. Have somebody under you, have guys your age, and then have somebody that is discipling.
Yeah, I remember listening
always
to that.
give out and take in, and then be in your group, in your age range. Like,
right.
Yeah, 100% I do.
Right.
I mean, you and Xander brought a new life to our table, just in your youth and your excitement and your hunger. The hunger had been missing, at least from our table, and you guys brought hunger for it.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I'm glad we could bring it.
yeah, I am too.
Yeah,
because we were all almost dead. You revived us. Well, dude, let's get into. I want to hear your testimony. I want to hear. Hold on, time out. What do you want to share? Do you want to share your testimony or no?
I mean, yeah,
don't care if you
I
don't.
went to that share my testimony thing, and it was like, you have to learn how to say it in 3 minutes. It was like, I don't think that's possible.
Let's just. This is a conversation.
Right. I mean, I'd like to tell
My point is,
the
do
fuller.
you want your testimony out there for the
Yeah,
world?
why not?
Well, for 200 people.
20 people. No, I'm gonna share this everywhere.
I think that's the one thing that we're missing with the podcast is guys that are on it. This is a guess, but I don't think they go post it on their channel. Like,
No, I mean, also
they listen to it, it's like, oh, cool. Like,
I see it on my YouTube feed because I'm subscribed, but like no one ever sends it in the WhatsApp or whatever. I'm like, guys, this is great. Why is this not being pushed everywhere? Like on the Forge Instagram account, like it's also Bible Instagram account.
Yeah,
like,
I would think
it's all about distribution. And,
There's nobody. Yeah, nobody's doing it. Nobody.
I mean, you have the quality and obviously the setup,
Especially
but
for our movie set.
we're live
location
in
today. We're
Burbank,
live with.
Burbank Studios. Steven Spielberg just left, getting ready to shoot his next film, Forged.
Yeah, I mean it's time requirement, right?
Yeah.
Having.
I'll share this everywhere. You know, why not? Everyone's gonna know.
So anyway, let's start there. What brought you to Forge?
So Jeff, who sits at our table, Jeff saw me and Xander sitting at Lucy's, just having a coffee on Sunday, reading the Bible, and he's like, "Hey, I just want to let you guys know you're doing a good thing. Like, keep going." And we started talking, and he's like, "Oh, you guys, go to a men's group or anything?" I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Oh, I go to Forge, the Scottsdale Bible. You guys should come." And 2 weeks later, we came for the first time, and like Xander and I instantly knew, like, this is what we've been missing. It's just a group of genuine Christian guys who want to meet once a week, and talk faith, talk life, and it's exactly what we needed. When we needed it, it came in the perfect time, because we were just sort of getting into the faith. We had both talked about it a little bit before. We met on business terms, and then we started talking, like, he's like, "Do you read the Bible?" And I'm like, "Yeah." "Do you?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. Let's read it together. Let's
How'd
talk
that
together."
come up?
I think Xander and I are both, we're aspiring entrepreneurs, and with that comes a lot of struggle and trial, and with that, you can either decide to stay in the struggle and the trial, or you can say, "You know what? There is a higher power at work. I'm going to put my full faith in him and trust that his plan is greater than mine. I'm going to work hard, but I'm going to just trust that I'm on the right path, doing the right thing." And so that was kind of like our introduction to faith. And then we started, diving into the Bible, actually reading the Word, and then coming to Forge, and then going
But
to...
randomly, Xander just asked you, "Hey, bro, do you read the Bible?" Or
I
is there a
think...
Bible out, or like it just...
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
probably just in your hours of being together working.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was just a natural thing. Like when we met on Divine Intervention, there was no reason we should have met, but we did. And, we've been working hard for our business for over a year now. And so, yeah, I'm not surprised by anything anymore. Yeah.
So when did you become a Christian?
It was probably, I would say first time I went to Forge. It was probably like the first time I was like, this is, I'm going to give my life to Jesus. Like, this is
really?
it. Yeah. Like right around that time, I can't remember a specific moment, but it was like, that was like the peak of my like transition over. And I was just like, this is what I've been missing my whole life.
No, I didn't know that, dude.
Yeah.
I
Like
thought
the Forge was really what was like, yep. That was the nail.
Dude,
in the
that's
hammer.
incredible. I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I thought you came in like, I don't know, a few years under your belt.
No. I was just a curious fellow.
Well, cool, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna announce that tonight at the table.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of firsts for me last year and this year. I remember before we went to break, I said, this is my first Christmas actually knowing Jesus and being with Jesus, and the difference that Christmas, the difference in Christmas when you actually like know the story of Jesus and believe in him and read the gospel versus not, and just thinking it's just presents or whatever.
Right.
It's night and day, black and white. There was no, I didn't. I remember like my mom was like, "Oh, what do you want for Christmas?" I'm like, it's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, nothing. Like, I just want to be with family and friends and just celebrate love.
So explain that. Walk me through this Christmas season. What
Christmas?
Give me a couple examples of you're like, holy cow, this is, or was it just a overall mindset change?
It was an overall mindset change.
It went from materialism and just like a holiday or a birthday to like, wait, there's a reason.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Knowing a story, like why are we doing? Like I always knew the story, but I didn't really indulge in the
Sure.
story per se. And so yeah, it's just it's a feeling. The holiday season is really like drama filled and just chaotic. But this time around, I felt just peaceful and just wanting to be with friends and family, just sharing love and stories and just camaraderie. Like my favorite Bible quote is in Philippians, and the peace of God which surpasses all understanding will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. And that quote, it has reigned true since the beginning when I found Christ, like around Forge time, and then especially in those like traditionally drama filled, chaotic filled holiday seasons or like transition periods. I just feel peaceful. I don't feel stressed all the time. I don't feel like anxiety filled and all that stuff. So
So what was your life like leading up to Forge, or up to you and Xander reading the Bible, or up to that? Like, what got you to pick up a Bible?
BCE, before Christ era, Ben's before Christ era. So my real test, my mom and dad, they both grew up in the Catholic family, raised Catholic, and it was very traditional, sacraments based, and so they had a sort of a rough forced go with it. And I actually asked my mom like why she didn't choose to raise me and my sister the same way, and she said, honestly, I just want you guys to experience it on your own and find it on your own if that's the path you decide to go down. And God bless her for doing that, because obviously many years later I found it on my own time, exactly when I needed it. And so it's obvious for me, it started around like 18, 19, getting into college. I was, just running amok, doing the things you do in college, drinking and just having fun. And like any good thing, it doesn't last. And you think that you need more of it to get that old feeling back, that excitement back.
Yeah.
And the more you think that, the deeper you go. And then I would say, at the peak of my just all out collegeness, my dad passed away, and it was just like it just knocked me off. I call it the treadmill. My analogy for the treadmill is that your life without
and do you want to promote the your analogies book after this?
analogies book is coming out in a few years.
Sorry, just want to make sure we get that plug in for Ben's book of analogies.
Yeah, it's coming.
Sorry,
soon. Treadmill. So life without Christ is like a treadmill. You're running, you feel like you're going somewhere, but you're actually not. You're just on the treadmill. You're stagnant. You're not doing anything. You can bump the speed up, bump the whatever you
Grade?
the grade. We'll go with grade. And
Angle.
You could even turn the treadmill around, go a different direction if you really wanted to. But no matter what, you're always stagnant, and that's what life is like before Christ. And when my dad passed away, it just knocked me right off that treadmill. It was like, all right, like.
Was that sudden?
It was
Just
it was sudden. Yeah, it was just like. We all, like, as a family, we sort of saw it coming because he struggled with alcohol his whole life. And it was only a matter of time, but there was no like, oh, it's about to happen. It was just like, it happened.
Oh man.
And so when that happened, it just knocked me right off the treadmill, and I went mad, like any person would when someone passes away. Not mad in a crazy sense, just like, what am I doing here? Like what is any of this worth?
Right.
Someone super close to me is not here anymore. So it really makes you think about life, why you're here, purpose. And if you don't have a stronghold of Christ in your life, and you build your house on sand, like in Matthew it says, build your house on a rock. My house was built on sand because I didn't know Christ. And So yeah, life was just not good. I mean, I remember it didn't. It didn't. I didn't find Christ in that moment. It took me 2 years later till I found Christ. And I remember actually, I was just thinking the other day, just a year ago, there was a conversation with a girl, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to Bible study tonight," and I remember literally like cringing at that.
Yeah.
It's like Bible study, like Christ, like what it, Jesus, like nah, that's not something I want to be a part of. Like I don't subscribe to that. And maybe that was a seed planted. I talked how I really enjoy planting seeds now, and I think it was a seed planted, and it ended up a year later coming to Christ. And so just a slow transition of not knowing what to do with my life. I dropped out of college. I took off to Europe, backpacked Europe, Portugal, Spain, Italy, running amok over there too, still, partying and having fun. Looking for something, looking for purpose.
Right.
And I found out that, there's no purpose over in Europe. So I came back and continued to just not know what to do with my life. I was always running away from things. At this moment in my life, I just felt I didn't want to deal with what I had dealt with and actually dive into what I was feeling. And so I just kept running away, hoping that I would find it in like a new location, like a new city. And so when I came back from Europe, I said, I want to move, like permanently move. Maybe that's going to fix my life and it's going to give me purpose. And so I moved to San Diego. This was around summertime, and got a job there, was living life, and just realized again, like it wasn't.
So what would happen, like when you would settle down, like
it was?
How long would it take for you? Like you're in Europe, and you're like, okay, this isn't it. But how long? Like would it be like you'd get to a city and you'd hang out for 3 days, and you realize it's not here? Like, can you explain that, or is it not really something that you?
It was about 2 months, I would say, and whenever I moved somewhere or ran away somewhere, it took me about 2 months to really realize like this is not the answer.
The newness would wear off.
Yeah.
And then you're still stuck with Ben.
Yeah. And I this whole time I was having sort of spiritual like experiences, just feeling like there was a presence, back then, and I was like more into like Buddhism and just calling it like the universe and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it was there. I just didn't have a title for it, like the proper title. I didn't actually know who it was really. I felt something, but I wasn't living according to it. I just thought, I'm going to live on this high. And then 2 months later, the high is gone and I'm back down to the bottomless pit.
Right.
And so same thing happened in San Diego. Didn't know what I was doing.
What was the bottomless pit? Why do you use those words? What?
It's just, once you arrive at these new places and you think it's the solution, and maybe for a while you like actually believe it's the solution, you're living life. And the way it happened for me was just like within a day, literally within a day, it all like my entire life felt like it's just down the drain. Like I remember when I was in San Diego, I was on a Zoom call with my mom and sister just catching up, and out of nowhere they asked me a simple question like, how are you enjoying it out there? And they can vouch for this story. And I said, oh, I'm doing good. And then just boom, bawling, crying out of nowhere. And they're like, what? Are you actually doing good? And I couldn't stop crying. And
oh, wow.
They were like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't know. Like I'm not supposed to be here. I don't know what I'm doing out here. Like, I'm not doing the right things. I don't have like a career. I don't have friends out here. I mean, I had some friends. I met some new friends, but it was that moment I realized I was just running away. Like it was really that moment where I realized I was running away. Mm-hmm. And so I ended up moving back to Arizona, and that was the final, like, all right, I'm going to just stay here, moved it back in with my mom, re-enrolled back into college, got another job, and like finally had stability after like a year of just running amok and like not knowing what I'm doing with my life. And from there, it was a slow build up. And I remember this one night, I was really in that feeling of like, I felt the presence. I was like, what is this? And this is the story of how I got my first Bible. It was like 9 p.m. at night, and I'm like just thinking, you know what, like, I just had like it was just God telling me, like, looking back in hindsight, it was God telling me, like, just go get a Bible.
That's crazy.
And so I look up Bible on my phone, and Walmart, first spot, only spot open at 9 p.m. naturally.
Yeah,
so
of course, bro.
Drove over to Walmart, got like an NIV Bible. You know, I didn't know anything about Bible types or whatever.
Right.
Just picked it up, went to the register. Walmart doesn't take Apple Pay. I don't have my wallet or anything. and so I was like, I don't need
steal it.
Steal it or don't get it. And so I walked out with no Bible, and I'm like, you know, that was a sign. I don't need that Bible. Got in my car, went home. It was only like a 5-minute drive.
Did you really think that? Did that thought really go through your mind?
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's my sign.
I tried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I got a different, sign from God, voice from God, and he's like, no, that was like a test to see like how bad you actually want to change. So I got my wallet, went back, and got the Bible.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. And so that's the story of my first Bible, and started picking it up, and I think that was around Christmas time.
Where'd you open to first? Because it's intimidating.
Genesis 1.
Oh, you went to the beginning.
Yeah, Genesis 1. And so I didn't have any
You're like,
guidance.
No, don't eat the apple. Don't eat the they ate the apple.
I'm like, that's where I'm at right now. I'm eating this apple. Nah. And so it was around Christmas time, and thank God for all these new Christian influencers online. I found Bryce Crawford was like the first guy I found, and he was doing I think it was Luke for Christmas. Like, you read a chapter of Luke up until Christmas, and so it was like the first time I actually consistently read it. And so that was like my first time really studying the Bible, like listening to someone talk about it, get perspective. And so Luke was the first like the first book I actually fully read. And then from there, I kind of just pick around at it and put it aside a little bit. It wasn't a full transformation at all. And then just over time, just slowly started believing more about Christ, and this kind of gets into like where Forge happened. I met Xander. We started working really hard on, just having a big dream, and he also was sort of new into it. We kind of just met at the right time, started talking about it together, and then boom, Jeff comes, like perfect timing. Like, Jeff is just sitting there at Lucy's with his wife, and he's like, hey, do you want to come to this men's group? And we missed the first weekend after that because we were just like, I don't know. And then you were like, screw it, let's just go.
Yep.
First men's group, and the rest is history. Changed my life.
Thank you for listening to the Forge Podcast.